hello, Daniel, or Man Can Cook.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And Fraser, thanks for having us.
Yeah, we've got Fraser here as well. Fraser the
yeah.
pug is a very chilled pug. Now, can you start with sharing something positive with us? I'm all about positivity. What's something positive you've got for us?
Yeah, don't be afraid to be yourself. I'd tell most people that who are looking for something positive, or asking what makes me confident.
Yeah, that's right. You are confident. You are positive. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Let's describe what, in your words, people will be able to see on Instagram. What is Man Can Cook NZ, your Instagram presence?
Yeah, basically, when I say we, Fraser and I, we bake, we have fun, and we create some engaging content.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and their life is better than yours.
It's incredible content. It's unique, that's for sure. Yes, you bake, don't you? What sort of things do you bake?
Yeah, mostly more craveable food, like food that you look at mostly and it'll be very high calorie in that regard. I wouldn't say healthy or, unhealthy, but more calorie dense foods, like cheesecakes, cakes, cookies, like lasagnas, a lot of cheesy dishes full of cream and sugar. Yeah, that type of stuff.
Yeah, and it's blowing up on Instagram. It's big on TikTok as well. 785,000 followers on Instagram. A whole few 100,000 on TikTok as well. Whoa, how did this happen?
It was never our intention. When we started creating content, it was just out of joy. I've always loved cooking. I've cooked from a young age. And, lockdown came around. And I wanted to teach, I used to own a gym, and I wanted to teach my members how to create some healthy meals. And I knew how to use a camera from, creating content for the business. I knew how to cook. I wanted to make them laugh a little bit. So, I put an outfit on Fraser and chucked them in the videos, and that's it. That's how it started.
Yeah. And you do all of this from Auckland mainly, don't you?
Yeah. So my kitchen, yeah.
Yeah, from your own kitchen here in the 09. But one thing that is quite obvious is that you, and I'll say this, you are quite easy on the eye.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're very easy on the eye for just speaking one man to another. And, you do a lot of cooking topless or with no shirt on.
Yeah.
You wear an apron though, don't you?
Yeah, mostly just an apron. I started off, to be honest, just wearing a singlet underneath my apron, and then one video I was like, I'll just see what happens. I'll get rid of the singlet and just wear the apron, and that's that went viral, and I was like, okay, cool. Getting rid of the singlet and just kept the apron, and sometimes the apron's off. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good to look at. So is the food.
Thanks.
Okay. But that's what helped make things take off, being shirtless, just with a chef just with an apron on, and you start to go big on social media.
Yeah, I think there's a juxtaposition in our content of someone in shape. There's a pug in there, a dog, and we're baking cheesecake, and it's like, what's going on? Usually, people in shape aren't really making that type of content, and I think that's what. And plus, we don't take ourselves seriously. We love to take the piss out of ourselves and have a laugh and have a good time. Yeah,
that's right. So it's you're in shape, you've got a fantastic body, you obviously do a lot of work, but instead of some sort of plant-based formula or something like this, you're making these gigantic lasagnas and cheesecakes and high-calorie food.
Yeah, I think for me, I find it more craveable and entertaining, and like my day-to-day eating is pretty plain. Veggies, meat, rice, and then twice a week when I'm filming content, I'll indulge for cheesecake or like you said, a lasagna.
Yeah. So this Man Can Cook NZ is craveable content.
I think so. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, craveable food.
Yeah, and I think people like looking at craveable food. They love.
And they like looking at craveable chefs.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I like it that you're honest about that as well. Do you think that some people, they don't want to put themselves forward, I guess, but you're pretty upfront. You're craveable. You're happy with me to say that?
Yeah, I'm happy for you to say that. I think it's important not to puff yourself up, but equally as important not to shrink yourself, and you just got to be yourself. Yeah,
I've never called another man craveable before, but there you go. This is craveable content,
that's confidence coming from you, Pat.
Yeah, and confidence is important, isn't it? That's part of your vibe. What makes you confident?
I think for me, it's just being able to be myself and be vulnerable, and not being afraid of criticism, even though you get a lot of it. It's up to you how you perceive it and control it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would people criticize about you?
To be honest, not so much anymore. When I started, people, I used to, shake my head a lot in my content dance, and they'd ask if I have epilepsy, or, they'd ask what I'm going to do when Fraser passes away, or they'll just say that the content is very repetitive. And, I think it definitely affected me for a short period of time, and then you just kind of get over it and get on with life. And the more criticism you get, the more practice you get at dealing with it.
Sure. And where do most of your followers come from? Because they're not really Kiwis, are they? You're not that well known here.
So on Instagram, when you check your insights, there's 5 countries that you can see, the main 5, and New Zealand's not even in the top 5. It's the US, and then it's the US, Australia, UK, and then it's like France and Mexico.
Yeah. Okay. A couple of final questions, and we'll be quick fire because we've got to go. Do you want to take your shirt off now?
Maybe not today. I've been on a 4-week, holiday bender in Europe, so I need to get in shape.
Yeah, I had to ask. I was doing it for the fans. It wasn't for me. So yes, leave it on. But we'll show plenty of pictures of you.
Thanks.
And just finally, some advice for other Kiwis. One piece of advice for other Kiwis.
Oh man, I don't know if I'm entitled to give advice, but I mean, exercise, sleep 7 to 8 hours, limit processed foods, and talk to your friends, and have a good time. Yeah.
Daniel Rankin, the Man Can Cook NZ, a craveable chef.
Thanks, Patty. It's been a joy.
It has been awesome. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, you're welcome.